Yeah, so for time's sake, the video is longer, but it gives you an idea that this is a lab in which we explore this new technology, and we really work with actual people to see where the opportunity is to create really immersive experiences that people actually love, find entertaining and rewarding. So the central theme of the day is, this year is the virtual world meeting the physical world. Obviously, virtual reality is, well, right at the intersection there. And what we want to do is share some of our experience, our knowledge on creating VR experiences that people really love. Because sure, the technology is it's getting big, it's getting out there, but to get the actual experience right takes a lot of knowledge and a lot of research and really trying and experimenting. So first off, on VR, we believe VR and AR, augmented reality, is the next big platform for experiences. We already see it around us, we see it in a newspaper, it's getting really big. But one of the signals that we thought VR was becoming really big 2 years ago was this picture. Maybe some of you people know it. It's people on a train platform, and they're all immersed in their mobile phone. So this is, if you look at it, some kind of virtual reality because they're all in their phone, and just only that guy, he's looking around in the actual physical world. So this next picture, this is Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, with a whole big hallway with people, grown men, with virtual reality headsets on their face. And he's obviously smiling because he bought Oculus Rift, who's a big technology company, real big in VR. And Facebook is really placing VR central in their experience strategy. So one of the things we learned in the projects we did and the research we did is that people don't remember good VR, like immersive VR, as something they've seen, like on TV or heard on the radio. They really remember it as something that they actually experienced. So we're fooling the senses, we're fooling the brain. We're doing it by fooling touch, sight, your audio, your ears. And that's really, well, it's really special. And it presents a complete new way in creating experience, we think. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So when we look at the ecosystem of VR at the moment, it's quite big. It's reaching out. I think everybody over here knows the cardboard, which can be sent flag back to the total target audience, which is an important one within the VR world. We have the second one, which is a Gear VR. It gives a little more interaction with a touchpad on the side of the Gear VR. Then there's a big gap. We have the PlayStation Vr over there. It's a lot in the news at the moment with games as Call of Duty, which you can play in there. So it's with the camera, so it's easier. You can turn and you can do stuff with your consoles. And we have one extra thing, and that's the HTC Vive, which is an amazing product, which makes you walk around within 5 by 5 meters and interact, stand up, lay down, do all kinds of stuff. And we've got it set up in the back, so after the presentation, during the break, you can have a try. It's really an amazing experience. But it's easy to, with such a software, make an amazing experience because it has consoles, you can walk around. The hard part is making a mobile app, a great, amazing experience. That's what makes it hard. So that's why we focus on mobile. Well, there's a couple of things to think about. When you got a mobile on the left as a cardboard, and you got HTC Vive on the right, when you look at emotional impact, of course, there's a growth over there. So when you have a phone in your cardboard, it isn't really great because you can count the pixels, you can see some carton around your eyes. And on the right, of course, it's amazing. But there's an arrow going the other way when you look at scale and reach. So it isn't possible to send an HTC Vive to your total target audience, which is possible with a phone. So you can just send the cardboards, people download it from the App Store, and it's just possible. That's why we focus on mobile use. And we try to make amazing experiences within phones, so not within HTC Vive especially. But that's pretty hard, and it's because of a couple of things. You can read it a bit, I think. But so concepting is quite the same when you talk about VR, you talk about video. But sketching and scripting is a lot harder because you need to think of the technology and the possibilities. Then when you want to bring a VR application within web or app, you need to produce a lot, so that's quite hard. And then when you also want to take content in there, 3D content in there, and make people interact, and then putting that into a VR application is really hard. And that's why I think we don't see a lot of interactive mobile applications in VR at the moment. But we would like to show you one of them where we have put some e-commerce in there. So what we create is VR that people love, and also VR with a business case, which is really important. A business case can be lower the costs, like a learning. So we can shorten the learning period for a train, like NS. But we're going to focus on OnePlus for a moment, because we've put some v-commerce in there, which is a really interesting case. So OnePlus asked us the typical client question, always. So a never seen before experience that will disrupt the VR world, but of course, the total target audience needs to be reached. So the last sentence is the hardest part.
That's really important. Yeah.
So the OnePlus experience, I'll show you a short video that will explain it. Then Apple will walk you through the chambers within the app. So let's show the video, then we'll talk further.
How do you get advertising skeptical tech enthusiasts excited about the new smartphone from the global technology startup OnePlus? We created the Loop, a never-ending immersive experience that takes place on a space station 450 kilometers above the Earth's surface. So for the launch of the new OnePlus 3, we pushed accessible VR technology to the outer limits. The journey began in the OnePlus offices in Shenzhen, and from there, visitors beamed up to the Loop. There they were welcomed by Carl Pei, the OnePlus founder.
Hey everyone, Carl here. Glad you made it.
Users explored the space station to learn about the new features of the OnePlus 3 and to collect Loop badges. Once all the badges were gathered, they could enter the final reveal and order the OnePlus 3 in the virtual world, and then have it delivered to the real one.
Yes. So some stuff actually about the experience itself. So we didn't only immerse people or actually consumers into the virtual space, we immersed them in a space in space. Make extra cool. So it started out in the background, you can't see that good, in the actual Shenzhen head office of OnePlus. And then you just push the button and then you would be zipped to the actual space station. So this looks a bit matrixy, but this is one of the things if you're designing. This is an actual stereoscopic design, so it's for two eyes, and that's really different than in the 2D world. From there, you would come in the observatory. So here you're in the space station. The CEO would talk a bit about the OnePlus, and you can see it already there. And from there, you would go to what we call the Dome, and that's a gigantic hall with lots of places to explore, lots of animation, and there are all kinds of special spaces in there that would tell you or let you experience the actual phone features in an interactive world. So one of the features of the OnePlus 3 is the camera, obviously. So the backlight is at the left, you could experience it. How it works with movement and how it handles it in the middle experience, and at the right is how it performs in low light conditions. So you could actually experience the camera and the feature in this interactive VR room. So one of the other features is the quick charge could do a quick charge of about 80% in half an hour. That's really fast, important to these really critical users. But what we also showed is that it became or stayed cool during this quick charge. And as we all know, Samsung made a big of a problem with the Note 7. That's a really important feature. And then finally, one of the other rooms is the design room, which really lets you experience the design features, also in an interactive way. And it would delve you in all the great details the phone had. After that, you could go back to the observatory talk to the CEO. He's going to summarize the phone, like all the great features you saw and experienced. And then you could actually buy the phone. You could actually buy the phone in VR. So it's a real VR commerce case. We think VR is really about experience, firstly, but commerce, buying stuff, can also happen in the same experience, we think, and we showed with this case.
So normally this is what you see when you just look, but of course you have two eyes. So it's really important to make sure that within the software, within the application, you also serve two videos, but shift it a little bit so you can see 3D. So it wouldn't be like this in the application, but it would be like this with shifted images, and you put it into the app like this. So the top image would go for your left eye, the underneath one will go in your right eye, and then you can see 3D. So little shifted images. So it's important to put such excellent things within your application to make sure it copies the real world. You're not looking at a flat 2D 360 world. The second one is binaural sound. What it means is that every space within the world has an own sound. So when you look at the left, you hear something else, and the other rooms dim a bit. And when you look around, it just changes constantly. That's what happens with me also when somebody's talking in the back. I hear him talking in the back and not just like a voice overhaul the world. So also a brilliant point for excellence within the VR app. Another one is 60 frames per second video playback. It's just a high rate, which is actually quite the same or a little higher than you realize. And the other one is e-commerce shopping. It's not really excellence, but it's an important thing, like making a business case for an application. The e-commerce part is really important. The other part is support. So how do we make sure that we reach the total target audience with an iPhone 5 or iPhone 7, the whole thing? One of the things that we did is distortion switching. There are tons of cardboards out there. So we have the Cardboard 1 from Google, the Cardboard 2, OnePlus made their own one, and they all have a different lens angle. So what we did is when you choose it over here, we change the lens angle of the software, and we make sure that it fits. The other one is a hotspot navigation, so you can just look at the point and you will go in. Touch navigation, so you can also use it without a cardboard, also important. And the last one is a little technical, but it's dynamic quality serving. Shortly introduced, so what it is we have high-end phones, like an iPhone 7, Samsung S7, and we have their stereoscopic binaural 60 frames per second 4K video quality. It's a lot, but it won't work on an iPhone 5. So when you download the phone, the software sees what kind of phone you have. When you get an iPhone 4, iPhone 5, or a low-end Samsung phone, it switches the frames per second and the video quality to a lower one. So it performs really well, while you only have 2K video, but it works really well, and it's a great experience, though. Another one is really important is the size of the application. So we're not talking about 2D over here, we're talking about 360 video, which is a really big thing. So the video size goes up with all the technical features we have in there. Also, the size of the application goes up, and when you won't do anything about it, you will have to download an application like 2 gigabytes, and that's too much. So I don't know if you've reckoned it, but all chambers are loops. It's only a loop of 10 seconds. But you won't reckon it because you're just looking around and there's so much to see that it doesn't bother you. So that's an important thing that you can think of when you animate an application. You can animate it like this, so it can loop, and you don't have to worry about the size of the application anymore. And another one is server-side video serving. So what that does is that we serve the content when after you've downloaded the app. So you download a container of 50 MB or something like that, and then we download it afterwards. So we see, okay, you have an iPhone 7, then we can download the high-end content, and then you're there. You don't have to download the low-end content anymore, which we need to do within the OnePlus app still. So the numbers of the application when it goes live. Eppo?
Yeah, so we had a big brief from OnePlus. And actually, 85,000 app downloads in the first 24 hours. That's a lot for such a specific VR experience app, just in one day. Average, 16 or almost 17 minutes people dived into this experience. That's a long time, 17 minutes. That's really long. But that showed us that we were able to engage them in this magical world that we created around this phone. And 4,000 of the actual phones sold in the first 2.5 hours. That's a real lot in VR. We had a conversion rate of about 10%. So OnePlus was thrilled with this. We didn't, well, beforehand, we didn't think we would get these results. So it was really new for us as well, right? Yeah. Real cool. So this is like the whole video.
How do you get advertising skeptical tech enthusiasts excited about the new smartphone from the global technology startup OnePlus? We created the Loop, a never-ending immersive experience that takes place on a space station 450 kilometers above the Earth's surface. So for the launch of the new OnePlus 3, we pushed accessible VR technology to the outer limits. The journey began in the OnePlus offices in Shenzhen, and from there, visitors beamed up to the Loop. There they were welcomed by Carl Pei, the OnePlus founder.
Hey everyone, Carl here. Glad you made it.
Users explored the space station to learn about the new features of the OnePlus 3 and to collect Loop badges. Once all the badges were gathered, they could enter the final reveal and order the OnePlus 3 in the virtual world, and then have it delivered to the real one. We 3D scanned our community members, putting them on stage inside the experience. With stereoscopic CGI, 360-degree film, and 4D sound, we merged a melange of 10-second-long animations into a seamlessly looping VR universe where our audience wanted to spend their time. Built entirely out of lightweight looping animations, we overcame video size barriers and compressed the entire experience into an easily downloadable app. In the first 24 hours of the launch, 58,000 people downloaded the Loop, and they spent an average of 16.5 minutes immersed in our OnePlus universe. In the first hour, 10% of users bought the phone in VR. In 6 hours, conversion grew to 30% for their most successful product launch to date. The Loop, a VR experience from OnePlus.
It's about time.
There was one basic element that I didn't get. So you go into this virtual world.
Yes.
But then I have a phone and a VR thing, right?
Well, actually,
I need one.
You have a phone, and in this case, you would have a cardboard. In most cases,
Yeah.
And you just fold it. You can send it to people by mail. You fold it. Google had a lot. You put your phone in it, put it on your head, and then you're good to go.
Okay, because in the video, people went to the store and then they did it. Because in this VR space, you could buy the phone.
Yes.
But I thought then I have a sort of chicken, egg, vicious circle thingy. Because I already have a phone if I go into VR, right?
Yeah, sure. So this was the new OnePlus 3.
Yeah.
So people had iPhones, like big other premium telephones, that they can use for this experience to buy the new OnePlus 3.
So that is a
Right.
realistic scenario that
Yes.
you want to have people converted from the iPhone
Yes,
to that.
yes,
Okay.
especially that.
It's half the
Okay.
price. So it's
Yeah.
half the price.
Yeah,
the
but I
same.
already paid for this one. But that's not the problem now.
Yeah.
So what are other, because you said v-commerce, that's an interesting term, I
Yeah.
think, and pretty new. So what are typically other examples that we go into a commerce virtual reality?
Well, it's quite hard still, because what we only did is we make it sellable within the application, but you can't pay over there. The whole payment goes online, so you just fill in your email address and then you go online. So it isn't really finished and done yet. So we need to work on that with maybe nodding, and when you nod, you say, okay, I want to buy it.
Yeah.
So we're still working on
Ooh,
that.
that goes
because-
pretty fast, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fast. Yeah. So we're still working on that and making sure that all fits in the VR application, and there's no need to switch to a mobile phone or to web anymore.
So is it thinkable that instead of going to the shopping street that we don't do anymore, and then we see all these closed shops, did I go into a VR, maybe if I'm 60 plus or 70 plus, and then I still want to go to these shops, but I cannot do it anymore or whatever. Is it realistic that I do it in VR?
Well, for the part of the world, yeah, I think so, because Tesla is a good example. It's an amazing brand, and people know that it's good. That doesn't even need to be proven anymore. So the only thing that they want is they want to configure it, they want to see the colors, and that's what you can do within VR. So the biggest Tesla dealer only does it online. It has 40% of all sales only online, not offline. So that works already. So the only thing you'll need is something where you can configure it and see how it works within the colors and all options that you can put on. And yeah, I think it will grow to there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, typically a lot of projects we do in automotive, typically on experiencing the car at home or at an event for Volvo, for Audi. And if you buy it online or at a dealer, it doesn't matter. The experience is paramount.
And have you had a meeting already that somebody said, "Oh no, not Second Life again"?
No,
I'm the
no,
first.
I didn't.
I mean,
I didn't.
few people thought so. I think.
No,
so,
no, never heard
Because
that.
that is fun. That was fun.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
it was great
at some
fun.
stage you thought it's not more useful to go into the ABN AMRO bank in
Yeah,
Second Life instead of
I
do it
know
online.
that like 10 years ago there was like a real big Immerse event on Second Life,
Yeah.
and all the banks were there. Oh, we have our offices in there. But if you look at the state of VR in the devices, in the technology, in the experiences around you, it's much more. It's much further already. And then you have VR, you have AR. Real interesting combinations will start to exist there. So it's already much further down the line than those experiences ever were.
So
But-
then, what are the big challenges to come to a stage that we're actually going to do this in larger numbers?
Well, it needs to work because the phones are getting better and better. So and with Daydream, which is an application from Google, it's now possible in the future, in the near future, I think this year, to also do real-time rendering on a phone, which means that on a phone I can also, like Tesla, pick stuff up and really interact. So that's what needs to be added on there, interaction. Because now it's only looking around and going into rooms. That's not enough. So that's important. And I think for the HTC Vive, it's really important that you can do stuff with people. So now we have 2 cameras and you can do your thing, but actually you want to configure it together with your wife, so you need to be together in there.
For the color,
For the color,
Yeah.
and for the options. Sorry. So that's an important thing, but that will be also done this year, to do it together and to configure a car together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and also with like the Sony Playstation Vr platform, so there are tens of millions of PlayStation 4s. They now have an sort of Oculus Rift, and they're sold for €400. So they're coming available in great numbers. So, and that's a high quality VR experience you can have in your home.